Hey everyone, and welcome to the Global Vegfest 2 Sunday afternoon, December the 19th, 2021. Still, unfortunately, right in the middle of a pandemic. After 2 years, we are here still experiencing those dramatic times. But we were able to announce yesterday that we confirmed our live dates for 2022 at Olympia in 2022, November 12th, 13th. So that's exciting. Of course, part of the beauty of the live events is we get to do a load of live music, we get to do a load of live comedy, we get loads of exhibitions, we got loads of stuff going on, as well, of course, as all the vegan stuff. And the online version, our Global Vegfest, it still manages to include all of those elements. And of course, it has the added advantage of being able to make touch base with people from all over the world, hence the global aspect. And over the weekend, once more, we've seen some fabulous panels and contributions from people literally all around the world. This is our music session. We have a wonderful little hour of music with two artists who are going to join us for a little bit of a chat, a couple of songs each. So a nice, relaxed, chilled December afternoon. We could just take the time out and listen to some really fabulous vegan activist talent, I should say. And without further ado, it's my pleasure, indeed, my privilege to introduce Barbara Helen. Barbara, hello. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Barbara.
Hello, Tim. Hi.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for the Global Vegfest. And where are you joining us from this afternoon?
Saltburn by the Sea, northeast of England.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, and what's that like for a vegan paradise? Is it
it's a
vegan?
Beautiful place to live, yeah. And it's sort of a great place to capture all the seasons because I'm really close to the sea and the woods. Today it's a bit misty, but beautiful walks, so it's an inspiring place to live.
Do you know what? We've got mist too. It's a beautiful mist, and it's still misty now. We're past sort of lunchtime, or sort of around about lunchtime. It's been misty all morning. So here in wintry Bristol. So part of the joys of course, as I mentioned, Global Vegfest is literally we can touch base all around the world. And of course, Barbara, you're an artiste. You've been playing music live, and you'll tell us a bit more about that. But first of all, just been pretty challenging with the lockdowns, hasn't it?
It's been pretty challenging indeed. I mean, I played a gig on Friday night at a local vegan restaurant bistro, and it was I performed with a friend, and we said it's the first time in 2 years we've played live in front of an audience, and it was just amazing. So yeah, it's been difficult, and it was like, oh my goodness, real people, and the real people gave us all that feedback saying, wow, it was just so good to hear live music again rather than over Zoom or things like that, So yeah, you realise how much you missed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been heartbreaking. And of course, exactly as we speak now, this new variant has just ruined once more a whole load of really brave promoters and, technicians and people all in the industry, the associated industries. So my heart goes out too for them, because this time around there's no support. Last time there was some support, now there's no support. And that's brutal for the hopes but for some artists, the lockdowns have also given a chance to get creative too, though. There has been that sort of side benefit. Have you been able to turn have you created? Have you been writing? Or?
Yes. I've released a new CD, so that one's called One Voice, and a couple of the songs I was asked to create by Anita Crank. One of them is a memorial song for Regan Russell, the activist who was sort of killed while she was bearing witness in Toronto outside of a slaughterhouse, and it was the first year of her anniversary, and they asked if I would create a song, and so that was quite an honour. And also I tried not to think of the pressure really, because it's sort of, so I just brought the song from the heart, because obviously it's a very sensitive thing, and I was very proud to have the song with the video produced by Sean Monson, and it's live. It's on YouTube, and it was played on her anniversary of her death. So that was pretty sort of emotional thing to do. But yeah, so I've put that on my new album, which is called One Voice. It was going to be called Vegan Family, but because I'd written that song, I put One Voice for Regan on, and I called the CD One Voice. So there's 12 tracks on there, and a couple of new ones, of new songs that I'd written over lockdown. At first, I felt like I was in suspended animation, like I think a lot of people were. It was like, sort of waiting for something to happen, and then it sort of started to realise, well, this is it. It's like you've got to keep moving, got to keep doing stuff. And as I say, living in a beautiful place like Saltburn, I was able to just walk out with our dog and share time with him, and so I really do feel we've been fortunate, and I've been fortunate that I've got my guitar and a nice place, and be able to pick it up and sort of express my emotions, because a lot of the time when you're a musician and when you're an activist, because it did have a knock-on effect on the activism that we could do, we were restricted to sort of 6 people standing outside the slaughterhouses bearing witnesses and things like that, and we had to keep apart. Very mindful of the fact that if we didn't, we could get into trouble, it would be excused to get moved on. So we still managed to do some activism, and I managed to be able to pick up the guitar and write some music, and I recorded the CD at home. So that kept me pretty busy, really.
Right. Okay. When you say, is it all? Have you played it all? Is there more than is it guitar, vocals?
Guitar and vocals and backing vocals. Yeah, because I wanted it very much no frills. I mean, the first CD I made several years ago, I went into a professional studio and had everything thrown at it, which sounded great. But when I perform live, it's just me. I'm not with a band. At best, I'll maybe have somebody supporting me with guitar and backing vocals, if it's a local thing. But the best thing I felt was to get the songs just from the heart, basic, just sort of get the emotion out. And I've had such real good feedback because of that, because it is very simple. It's like a live performance, and so that was good to get the feedback that it helped. It hit people's hearts and helped them, to sort of feel what I was trying to say.
All right, so what's the first song? We've got a song. Just should mention, actually, interesting you mentioned Anita. She's on our show later today.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
the Plant-Based Treaty. And she asked me to write a song for the Plant-Based Treaty.
Oh, really?
It was a very narrow brief. It had to be upbeat, and it had to get lots of sort of like target points in. It was a real challenge, and it was great to do that. So a lot of the activists that have been doing the Plant-Based Treaty, as we did ourselves near Newcastle, stand outside the city halls and sort of like endorse the Plant-Based Treaty. They were playing that song in the background, so it was like, yay! endorse the Plant-Based Treaty, eat plants, plant trees. That's the chorus.
So what's the first song we're going to listen to? We've got 2 lined up today. The first one, I think,
it's called One Precious Life.
Right.
And it was inspired by doing activism, by standing outside the slaughterhouses with the Save movement, also by standing with Anonymous for the Voiceless. There's a sort of references to that as well. So it's recognising that all human animals and non-human animals, we all have one precious life, and it's precious to us, because very often when you look at the numbers, it's sometimes when you filter it down to that one person, that one non-human animal, that's what makes, sort of is the emotion there. That's what makes the difference, recognizing that one precious life, we all have one precious life. And I think I say it better in the song than
So, well,
than
this is part of the beauty of these songs because it is a difficult one. I mean, it's very emotional. You mentioned it being like upbeat, and there's this whole side of keeping upbeat and being encouraging and warm and welcoming. And there are some issues that we're dealing with that are incredibly the opposite and very challenging. And every activist I know, wherever he really goes vegan with it, at some point has to kind of face that and deal with that reality, and that can be quite traumatic. And I think hearing music of people who have experienced some of these things is quite powerful, quite therapeutic too, quite inspiring. So here we go. This is Barbara Helen with the first song here.
We all have one precious life. Human and non-human animals. And standing outside of slaughterhouses, watching innocents go in, it becomes very evident to us. And if anybody has seen The Matrix, there's a little reference to that about come and take the red pill. One precious life. One precious life, only the one. One precious life, gone, gone. Don't ask, can they reason? What words do they utter? Only ask, can they suffer? They're not friend or food. We give them that name. All suffer the same. The truth is out there to see. Come share the red blue with me. Open your eyes. We've been taught the right is so wrong, the wrong is right for so long. The truth is hard to recognize. We all share the same world with one another, and no one needs to suffer. One precious life, only the one. One precious life, gone, gone. They're not friend or food. We gave them that name. All will suffer the same. Don't ask, can they reason? What words do they utter? Only ask, can they suffer? I've heard all the excuses used to make me feel so useless. Now I'm aware. Here I am, I'm shining a light. I'm gonna shine it so bright. I know you see it there. We're sowing the seeds. They will grow, and one day you will know.
That's very sweet, Barbara. Well done. That's lovely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's very difficult to write songs about such a tragic issue, but that was to combine a bit of both. There was some, you know, there was some uplifting aspects.
I think we have to remain positive, because there has to be hope.
Yeah.
And, it is a terrible thing, but sort of being aware of what happens to the animals when you become vegan and start leading a vegan lifestyle, especially when you become involved in activism. You see things that is hidden from a lot of people. We are the glass walls all of a sudden, and it's like we're bringing the view to people. And I think through music, it's a really good way. Like the word I think is artivism. Like music, art, poetry, writing. It's bringing that view to other people, but it's a way, I think, for any artist to remain sane, because you've got that emotion within, and it's the voice that wants to come out, and it's just like, yes, I've said it. And then when other people can identify with it, it makes it even better, that you feel you've helped somebody else because they can say, yes, I feel like that. So, and I always try and think, well, yeah, it is a very, very sad, it can be quite depressing, but there's got to be, it's always, we can do something about it, we can be the change, and a call to arms almost always, because that's what we have to do. We can't, I always think tears won't bring on the changes. We can cry and cry as much as we like, but action will bring on the changes, and remaining positive and hopeful.
I think one of the things about music, and it's just certainly seen me through this last few months, I've been listening to one artist in particular. Like when I was same thirst and hunger for their work as when I was 18. And I was asking myself, I wonder why that is. I've just been so into the music. And I think it's because you feel that somebody else is almost like speaking for you. They're translating your thoughts into words. They're expressing what you. It's almost like they've written that song for you, and that's one of the powers of music. Of course, they haven't, but that's one of the powers of some amazing songs. So, Barbara, because we're on a fairly, we've got another guest lined up too, so we have a nice, short and sweet afternoon. But we'd love to listen to your next song. So, if you'd like to introduce us to your second song, what's the second song?
Well, it is a bit of an anthem. It's called "Live Kindly, Tread Lightly, Live Vegan." And I was asked to write this song so that it could be played outside of a slaughterhouse, and the activists that were there in Toronto could actually sing the chorus, because it was a slaughterhouse called True Harvest, which is just, blows the mind, the name. And that the locals were complaining about the smell and the noise. And so that I incorporated things like that into it, as well as as the hopeful aspect and the positive aspect, about live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. So yeah, that's the song.
Okay.
I was asked by the Toronto Animal Save team to compose a song to play outside of a slaughterhouse for the activists to sing along with and to play, and for the people who live around there to hear, as the activists from the Save movement bore witness, because they were the neighbours were complaining about the smell and the noise, and so I came with this song. It's called "Live Kindly, Tread Lightly, Live Vegan." As you look at the world through an animal's eyes, what do you see? As you stand up for your rights, saying, "Not in my backyard," we witness for justice and liberty. Your food should be grown, never be born. Death not a harvest. Your fruit should be grown. Leave the animals alone. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. We are all animals. We are all earthlings. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. We are all animals. We are all earthlings. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. We have only one earth. This is our home. One world we all share. The ripples are spreading. We've thrown the stone. Pollution of our water and our air. As we view the scene of climate change, the smell of death is in the air. Peace on this earth begins on your plate. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. We are all animals. We are all earthlings. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. We are all animals. We are all earthlings. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? Time to stop the climate clock and start anew. We have the power. Now is the hour. When you look at the world through an animal's eyes, what do you see? As you stand up for your rights, saying not in my backyard, we witness for justice and liberty. Your food should be grown, never be born. Death is not a harvest. Your food should be grown. Leave the animals alone. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan. Live kindly, tread lightly, live vegan.
Oh, Barbara, that was an inspired choice to invite you onto our show for today. That was a marvellous tune. I really enjoyed that. That's
Oh, thank you.
something I would like to say that it would be something that I would write, but I haven't actually been able to do something as good as that. That was really nice. I love the melodies in that too. Some really beautiful rises and falls. It's a good bit of guitar to accompany.
Thank you.
Barbara, that's brilliant. Thanks ever so much. And it's nice to see sort of activism combined. I think it's terrific too that you're almost sort of been commissioned to write this, asked to write on behalf of groups. And that's really interesting. I haven't heard of that before. So I think you've done them justice. I think you've done the animals justice there too. There's some great lyrics. So well done. And thank you very much for coming on today. Good luck with everything. I'm sure we'll be.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hopefully our live events. I'm not making any promises yet, but we're actually getting quite excited about the idea of hosting some live music and comedy and such.
Great.
Says he as London declares what is it, a sort of a state of emergency yesterday or something. But we'll see. But thanks for joining us, and I'm sure you'll be sticking around to just have a listen to our next guest, because our next guest is really had a terrific year 2021. Thank you, Barbara Helen, and our next guest is going to be Ruby Moss. So Ruby, do come and say hello. Hello, Ruby. Have we got Ruby? We do.
Hello.
Hey, Ruby. How's things?
Hey.
Good. Yeah, and you're joining us from Dublin in Ireland, I think.
Yeah. I just want to say well done to Barbara. Those 2 songs were lovely, and well done to you for the second VegFest that you've organised, and thank you for inviting me too.
Oh, you're welcome, Ruby. That's very good of you to say so. And of course, you were on our first Global Vegfest just 3 months ago, which was quite exciting. We wanted to ask you back because I don't think you've, I don't think anybody's had quite such a meteoric rise to their musical career at your age in the vegan circles. I mean, it's just been fabulous, hasn't it? And even in this last 3 months, you've achieved all sorts, including some new music, which we're going to be listening to. But I believe, too, if I've kept my ears to the ground, just yesterday is announced that you have a winner of quite a prestigious award. Tell us more about that.
Well, I won #1 Alternative Artist of the Year for a radio here in Ireland just a few days ago, and people had to vote for it, and I think I got 44% of the vote. And it was really amazing that happened.
That is pretty good, and I have to say, I will say you do have a #1 fan who's been busy out participating, make sure people vote for you, and that's of course your mum. Who's been really good. I know that because she's in touch with me to vote. Oh, I did indeed vote, but to come in with that sort of thing on a public vote too is a real testament. I mean, that really is cracking news. Congratulations on that. That's Carlo Radio, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fabulous. And I know that a lot of the local radio station, and it's a brilliant, thriving community station to know, connections with the Athlone. There's an Athlone community radio station there. It's a really good radio station, products a lot of young artists and up-and-coming artists and fresh artists. Tell us a little bit more, though. What's been going on this last 3 months since we caught up with you? What else has been happening?
Well, I've since released Stranded and We Can Change, which were the last 2 parts of the Climate Trilogy, which thank you for the idea for naming it Climate Trilogy. That was really good. And they both went to #1 on the charts since then. And I also released a Christmas song, Christmas with My Friends, about being able to spend time with my friends. And I was originally going to sing it with my friends, but they weren't able to join due to COVID reasons. But hopefully another time that would be really good.
Great. Okay. So, COP26, climate change. That was all of your songs came out during that period, I think, doesn't it? So we had to see the COP26 and the climate change. Was there, what did you think of that? You saw COP26 because, of course, it was in Glasgow. It's quite close to home for us. So leave you with despair, hope.
Well, there's going to be another one, hopefully.
Next year in Egypt.
Yeah. So COP27 hopefully will be better, I think.
Well, we've got to push through, though. I mean, one thing became apparent is that livestock farming is not on the agenda with the government, although that is literally changing as we speak. Just 2 days ago, the Netherlands government, I think, announced a whole sort of plan to reduce whole livestock farming in the Netherlands and compensating farmers and such like. It's just the first time I think we've seen this sort of government level really taking action on this level. But it does, the whole thing underlines for me the importance of all of us to really push through the importance of this. And I know too, Ruby, you've been looking after too. I think all the proceeds from your, which must be quite a lot by now. I mean, you've been really successful. You've been number ones, and people downloading, streaming your songs. It's all in aid of charities too. So just briefly before we listen to your first song, tell us about those charities because they're important to you, aren't they?
Well, some of my songs went to the charities Jigsaw and Go Vegan World for the proceeds. And then my Christmas song is to Eden Farmed Animal Sanctuary.
Oh, wicked. Yes. Okay. Yes, indeed.
Friends Not Food.
Yeah, I'll be chuffed with that. That's great news. Well, I know all of the recipients of them, but particularly, with Go Vegan World, they've been they've been very supportive of your work, rightly so. I'm sure thrilled because that's a really positive action. Not only to be able to sort of put your whole thoughts into such a creative platform, but then also to reach out and inspire literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people listen to music, both to raise funds for some charities too. It's a remarkable year for you. So, Ruby, that's brilliant.
Thank you.
Really, tip my hat to. And I'm sure there's a lot of people genuinely inspired by your clear success with this. And that's important because it is confusing times, I think. People's dreams, perhaps in the exterior world, have been challenged, but the interior process, the ability to create from within and to create, your own creations from your own doing, as it were, is a remarkable, very special. Very special. We encourage anybody to do that, especially if you're a wannabe musician like myself who never quite, managed to create the songs I wanted. There's nothing still to stop having another go. Ruby, introduce your first song for us, please.
So the first song is We Can Change, and I wrote it actually when I was 12. And it became part of the Climate Trilogy. I've been working on it. And at first I actually discarded it. I didn't like it at all, but now I do. And it's the third part of my Climate Trilogy. And I think that it's probably the heaviest one in the trilogy. And it's all about climate change and how we have to change to make things better.
Great. Let's hear this song, Change.
Earth is falling apart, right here, right now. It's falling apart because of us. Creatures die every day, innocent creatures are killed because of us. We can change this. We can change.
Oh, that's quite exciting.
Thank you.
Oh, that's quite exciting. That's quite got an edge to it. What sort of reaction have you had to these songs, Ruby? I mean, it's obviously a serious issue. What's the reaction you get?
Well, I'm mostly just hoping to spread the word. So if the reaction is people finding out, or more people being aware of what's going on, and then if there's people who relate or agree to it, that's good too.
Well, I think it's a very very effective channel for calls to action. We're all faced with how do we kind of deal with our anger, our frustration, our fear, our concerns, our sense of hopelessness, a whole load of negative emotions that we're somehow going to kind of channel, be positive. And it's no good just saying, oh, everything's just, give up on everything. That's not going to help either. So to find positive ways, and I do, will say that as a younger member of the, as a younger adult, your take on it is a really effective. I would say very effective. The fact that so many people are kind of buying into it or listening into it.
Thank you.
There's enough there to push people without necessarily pushing them away. Is perhaps that's quite an art form. So. Ruby, well done. It's not been, climate change is obviously a heavy issue. So is COVID. We're both faced with this. I think we all share this. It's kind of united whole generations in a way. The face of this. I think we all see this. But you also made a lovely little Christmas song. I think we're going to play out to a Christmas song too. So tell us a bit more about this. What's this then?
Well, I wrote the Christmas song in June or July to get it in time for Christmas. It's not always easy doing it in the summer, but it was good. And I wrote it about Christmas with my friends and with the friends I've made over the past while. And I'm just grateful for them, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And it's also in aid of Eden Farmed Animal Sanctuary and Friends Not. The message is also Friends Not Food.
Okay, and of course you are vegan, aren't you, Ruby?
Yeah.
You're pretty much vegan for a number of years now, I think.
Yeah, I've been vegan since I was 9 or 8, I think. So that's 5 years or something.
Okay. And has your whole school gone vegan now? Or all your friends at school gone vegan?
Not quite.
Not quite. Working on it. So work in progress, is it? Yeah, but school's going well, is it? You're having fun there. I think you mentioned you've got organ.
Yeah.
Is that a recital, an organ recital coming up soon? Was it an organ? I have an organ scholarship. I know.
Yeah, I have an organ scholarship at the moment. Yeah. I got to play for the carol service. Yeah. So I think that was the main thing that happened.
We all love a carol service at heart. I've still got some of those tunes over here. It must be fun playing some of the.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. You can make it really dramatic on the organ with all the different
really.
Make it really loud. There's loads of things you can do with it. It's really fun.
Good stuff, Ruby. Well, look, you've had a most fantastic year. I know that, but it's been great that you've been able to share that with so many people. And I think you've won over a whole load of fans. I know your mum's your number one fan, but a little thank you too, because she's been really good. She's been really, really good. It's been great. A very wholesome family thing, but we're thrilled that it's a vegan thing too, because the vegan movement is really growing, and we're seeing through the Global Vegfest, we're just getting these little glimpses into the world and what's happening maybe in Egypt, or what's happening in Uganda, and what's happening around the world is just this is really gathering pace, and we're on the right side of history. But we've got a job to do. We can clearly see that, and the idea that so now we can be a global collective, and music very much fuels that. Globally, music can transcend just about everything. So, heartily congratulate you on your well-earned success this year, and may we send you very warm wishes for future, and I look forward to catching up with you again in 2022.
You too. Thank you.
And let's play out with Christmas
with my friends.
Christmas with my friends. Ruby Moss, thanks very much.
If only we could keep this right throughout the year, our friendship and our harmony when Christmas time is here.